What we're going to talk about in this segment is a couple of things. The second will be the major breaking news that formerly Prince Andrew, now by just his regular name because that title was stripped, has been arrested after Epstein revelations. Now, it seems like this is about him leaking confidential information to Epstein, which was exposed in the document dumps. But zooming out for a second here, as much as I want justice with Prince Andrew or leaders abroad, it does kind of give you that icky feeling that, wait, why do we keep seeing steps toward justice and accountability elsewhere, but none of it here? Absolutely none of it here. Everyone just skipping along. But before that, Megyn Kelly, who has bent over backwards, who has twisted herself into a philosophical pretzel, who has violated every principle I know she actually has to continue defending the Trump administration. Even she is fed up with Trump's Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnik, who got caught in the most brazen lie you can imagine.
I mean, Howard Lutnik is a billionaire, so it's like, I'm sure they outsourced virtually everything. And then he has the nerve to lie about it. It's just like, so we're on to you. You knew this was coming out. Why would you be so reckless? And where's your damn apology? You make yourself into a James Clapper. Not wittingly. This is supposed to be a more transparent administration. And what President Trump doesn't need is a liar in the position of Commerce Secretary about something as serious as your connections with Jeffrey Epstein. And it was such a bold-faced lie, Michael. Like, he not only was he in a room with him, he went to the guy's island. He started a business with him, reports CBS. I mean, about as bold as you could get.
Yeah, it's bad to lie. I agree, it's bad to lie.
So let's stop there for a second. I agree. I don't know where this guy is going. Yeah, it's bad to lie. It feels like there's a big but coming. We'll see. And before that, Megyn Kelly, I agree. Trump cannot have liars in his administration. So are you calling on Trump to resign? Because the only reason liars would be attracted to Trump is because he's the biggest of them all. And that's not like a petty remark. That's documented tens of thousands of, as you said, bold-faced lies. I thought it was bald-faced lies. Sorry, bald community. I've been really smearing you for a while. Is it bold-faced lies? And Trump's the king of that. But you just mean lying about Epstein? Trump's the king of that too. You remember how your world tried to spin the phone call Trump had with law enforcement where he said we all knew about what was going on for a very long time and Ghislaine Maxwell's really evil, what Epstein was doing was terrible. You tried to spin that as Trump trying to get justice for the victims. Well, actually exposed that for then years and years after that, he lied about not knowing anything about what Epstein was up to. So there's a lie, bold face about Epstein coming from Trump himself. So I agree Howard Lutnik should be held accountable. Do you think Trump should as well, who hired Howard Lutnik and who lied just as much? Just the quickest pause to request that you click the subscribe button, the simplest, easiest, freest way, completely free, to support the work that we do. Right below the video, click that subscribe button. Back to the video.
Yeah, it's bad to lie. I agree, it's bad to lie. I mean, I don't think he should have to step down for it. He didn't lie under oath. I mean, he would probably himself say it wasn't a lie. He just forgot about it. I'm not.
Oh, he forgot about going to Epstein's island. Sure.
Supporting that at all. I agree it's bad behavior, but I don't think he should. I don't think he should have to step down for what we've seen so far.
I'm not saying he should step down. He shouldn't step down.
But wait a minute, though.
He should take responsibility for his lie. Not just to anybody, but to Miranda Devine, who most of us on the right love and respect. He humiliated her, lied right to her face. And he had to have known at some level this was going to come out. And he owes her an apology, and he owes the rest of us an apology for lying to our faces. I will tell you, it's fine if he doesn't step down. I don't believe one word that comes out of his mouth from this point forward. Not one word.
Okay, so yeah. You agree with what she's saying there, right? And she's become one of the most dishonest and pitiful right-wing propagandists who clearly is just obsessed with getting an audience and not holding herself to any principles. And that's why her views have oscillated and switched and stretched so much over the last many years. So for some reason, she feels like she can prove to her audience she isn't a complete lying grifter by calling out someone in Trump's administration, but like calling out Howard is easy. Everyone gets the ick from Howard Lutnik. I mean, come on.
Respond to the Epstein situation. Is he hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but
About how to respond to the Epstein situation.
I don't know. I could ask you that question.
Ugh. Podcast listeners were watching that clip again where Howard Lutnik is really forcing a laugh when Epstein comes up. Really, like literally, no one actually laughs like this. This is not a real laugh that their shoulders don't perfectly do quarter notes. Okay. Toddy. That's not a real thing that people do. That is him trying to pretend like he doesn't care. Oh, this is such a silly subject, knowing that in between his Miranda Devine interview and then after this clip later on, that at some point it was going to be exposed that he was telling a big lie. Now, before getting to the Prince Andrew of this all, number one, good job, Megyn. Now try Trump. Okay, so you practiced calling out a Trump administration official for lying, even specifically lying about the relationship with Epstein. Now I'm curious if you'll call Trump out for lying about his relationship with Epstein. Just a question. Before and then the other thing before too is watch this clip. Howard Lutnik just laughs at weird times. Okay, so we saw it with Epstein. Then Trump was telling the story of, I guess, how Lutnik survived 9/11, and the whole vibe of how the story was being told, how Lutnik was responding, strange.
I mean, he literally watched the plane go into the building, into the World Trade Center. Amazing story. That alone is an amazing story. He was delayed because his wife insisted that he finally, after years, take his child to school. So he took his child to school that one day, because normally he would have been in the building at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's that business, right? So you owe your wife a lot and your child a lot, right? But his wife insisted that he take his child to school. For 5 years he didn't do it. He was horrible. What kind of a father was he? Okay, I'll do it. And he was therefore driving down at 8:43, whatever the time was, down the West Side Highway, and he saw the plane go into the side of the building. He said, wow. And he occupied the top 3 floors of the World Trade Center, of the one building of the World Trade Center. And you know what happened there? He lost 100% of the people in that, his whole company was there.
So I don't know, something, I guess the way he thanked his family for saving his life by asking him to take the kids to school that morning was then a few years later taking them to Epstein's Island because he took his whole family. Now, again, I'm not alleging specific wrongdoing around what he was doing there, except for associating with a child sex trafficker. But I'm not even saying he knew or ultimately he did. What I am saying is that it should cause concern when someone gets caught in such an obvious lie. If you missed it, he said, I decided in 2005 I would never step foot in the same room as Epstein again. And then gross. He took a vacation to his island. Like, that is, if we watch that clip and I said, oh, I bet he went to the island for a lunch with his family and Epstein. When we originally watched the interview, you'd be like, dude, that's a little, come on. You can't just throw that around. That's just lobbing allegations. And then it actually was that most extreme version of what his lie could have been. Not the most extreme version, but a very extreme version of it. And so while we're not seeing accountability for people who associated with Epstein or lied about the relationship with him in the United States, we are seeing it elsewhere.
Unredacted email out of the Epstein files has contradicted the former Prince Andrew, who denies ever having sex with Australian woman Virginia Giuffre. UK police have now formed a national task force to try to deal with the ever-growing list of allegations related to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
He's always denied ever having sex with Virginia Giuffre. This photo of then Prince Andrew holding the teenager haunted him for years. Now a new unredacted email states it as fact. From a New York Times reporter to Jeffrey Epstein, I think the big issue is separating yourself from Andrew. In the end, he had consensual sex with VR, Virginia Roberts as she was then, and VR worked for you.
So then it looks like what this, at least as of now, is about is abusing the public office. Open investigation into allegation of misconduct in public office. Earlier this month, the police said it was looking into a claim that the former prince, while serving as UK trade envoy in 2010, had shared confidential documents with Epstein. One email in the latest U.S. release appears to show Mountbatten Windsor forwarding Epstein a report, that's Andrew, from his special advisor about the then prince's visit to Southeast Asia. So this will be, he's now been arrested for this wrongdoing in public office, and that's what's being investigated. And even King Charles is saying the law must take its course. This headline, King Charles breaks silence after arrest of brother Andrew in Epstein probe. The law must take its course. So now, can we see it here? Can we see some consequences? Or at least some more answers? Because a lot of people have been like, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of Republicans that go, I don't know, Lutnik just was a silly, goofy guy. I don't know why he acted like he so specifically remembered cutting off Epstein and then after had a 13-year-long relationship with him. Who knows? But move forward. Man, does he know nothing about tariffs. That's good. And then, Megyn, if you're not going to believe him on anything else ever, could you maybe question some of the statements he's made about Trump economy? Ooh, that would be interesting as well. Now, with this news of formerly Prince Andrew and his arrest, you have this clip recirculating where he desperately tried to defend himself from allegations.
That you were at home on the 10th of March.
Yeah.
She was very specific about that night. She described dancing with you and you profusely sweating, and that she went on to have bath, possibly.
There's a slight problem with the sweating because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time, and that was yes, I didn't sweat at the time because I had suffered what I would describe as.
I remember while I was dancing with her, I wasn't sweating. I remember whenever I had sex with her, I wasn't dancing. I mean, I wasn't sweating. I mean, that's the vibe this is giving. No, I remember specifically the moment that you're talking about. I remember I wasn't that sweaty.
An overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War when I was shot at, and I simply it was almost impossible for me to sweat, and it's only because I have done a number of things in the recent past that I'm starting to be able to
do it again. I'm really happy for you that you're able to sweat again. You know, little did he know, Andrew, whatever now the name is, little did he know all he had to say in that interview is, excuse me, hang on. Did you know the Dow was at 50 thou?
Crock of shit.
Little did he know he could have just said, well, you clearly don't want to talk about the stock market, do you? Wow. Okay. Crock of shit. Now, two of the individuals who have participated in the cover-up of the Epstein documents for their boss were Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, and they decided to do a joint crossover episode where the current director of the FBI was interviewed by his former deputy director for, I'm sure, a very hard-hitting interview now that Dan Bongino is back podcasting. And you know what Bongino wanted to make sure the audience knew? That he thought they did a great job.
I think you and I did a pretty good job. You know, it really isn't hard when you focus.
What a weird interview. Everyone's mad at me thinking I did a bad job, but you tell me, person I worked for, weren't we great?
I'm on the bad guys.
Well, it's not hard, Dan, as you know, as an 1811 and a former police officer, it's not hard to do the job you signed up for if you're allowed to do the job you signed up for. And President Trump and this administration backs law enforcement and gave us the resources at this FBI and gave us the autonomy in you and I in running this building to remove the red tape, to remove the unnecessary approvals, and to get 1,000 extra agents. That's what we did, Dan. We put 1,000 agents into...
We put 1,000 agents on redacting Trump's name in the Epstein files. No, that's not what he says.
...the field from Washington, D.C. We permanently removed them from the national capital region and sent them across to every single field office.
From every single field. I just would encourage him to drop it a little bit. It's a little bit sort of up here, kind of aggravating to let's just drop it a little down for us so that we can hear you. Now, if you're thinking, how do I know if I should listen to this interview, how honest they are, how dishonest, will they actually be level-headed or credible in their analysis of their own job at the FBI? Well, how about we just judge the credibility of both of them by this one clip. Let's just see.
Have someone breathing down your neck every 5 minutes, micromanaging every decision you make, rather than allowing you to go work. The president, he's a spreadsheets guy. I want the homicide rate.
Okay, so now I know I don't have to listen to anything you ever say again. As Megyn Kelly put it about Howard Lutnik, I don't have to ever listen to you ever again. No. You're not going to tell me he's a spreadsheets guy. That Trump's followers don't think Trump is a spreadsheets guy. And I'm a kale guy. Yeah, so we're all just making stuff up now, huh, Dan? Can you imagine Trump? Could you get me that Google Sheets real quick? I need to examine some of the numbers. I'd love to see if Trump, I'm not even very good at spreadsheets, but I'd love to put him in front of a computer. He thinks it's impressive that his son was able to turn on a computer. And he's a spreadsheets guy. I would love to put Trump in front of a computer, open Google Sheets, and say, figure out how to make it to where whenever you plug in one number down here, it does the math for you and adjusts the top total number. And just see how it goes.